as a premise for a movie, it's pretty unpromising. An alien spaceship coming to rest over Johannesburg? No need to conquer the world, and no want to conquer the world. In fact, the aliens are in crisis. They need help. They end up living in the slums, in a shanty town, all packed together. A company come along and are asked to move them to a different place, a better place, in fact. But things don't really go as planned, as we can tell. There's gunfights and there's car chases between the aliens and the people of Johannesburg. That in itself shows the conflict between the two societies that are trying. Well, one hand is trying to connect and fit in with the humans, but it's not working. It's set in the most penetrating, disconcerting, and subversive place where repression and racism were. There used to be signs that said no blacks allowed. And this film portrays that very well. There's signs saying no aliens, or no shrimps, as they are called in the movies. So they really touch on the subject of racism. There are both figurative and literal signs of racism throughout the opening. There's the literal signs are literal signs in the windows saying no aliens, as I said. And then there's figurative signs, which is fighting and people throwing things at these aliens who are just trying to make a life for themselves because they can't go home. In South Africa, there is a history of segregation, obviously, and it was slightly about social class. If you were black, you were seen as second-class citizens. You weren't seen as a first-class citizen along with the white people. And that's sick. There was also political rights that were limited when black people were being segregated from the white people in Johannesburg. They weren't allowed to go in certain shops, they weren't allowed to go to swimming pools, they weren't allowed in certain bathrooms, they weren't allowed on public transport, etc., etc. And all of that is being portrayed in this film. No, we don't see a lot of the same signs, e.g. the bathrooms, public transport, but we do see the shop signs, and we do see not black restricted area, alien restricted area, and no humans allowed. So it works both ways in the film. Here's some words that are associated with the aliens and segregation. Not belonging, different, foreign, diverse, outsider, odd, unnatural, and second class. All of these words I would associate with both segregation from the 1970s, 1960s, sorry if that's wrong, and with the film. It's kind of like history is repeating itself in the film, and that humans haven't learned their lesson. We still haven't learned that after however long it was of black people fighting for their rights, that another race comes in and needs our help, and we just turn our backs and say, no, we don't want you. Sorry, go home. Oh wait, you can't. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Peace. Let's watch like that.